You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps, and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode? Hello actors, it's so good to have you here. In my own acting career, I have made a ton of daft mistakes before my scenes have started. And I've seen many of my acting students do this too. And even actors I've worked with opposite on stage and film and at group auditions. So I am absolutely thrilled to be able to help you steer clear of these pre-scene mistakes so you can show up as the sharpest actor on the block, in rehearsals and on set. Because when you're a sharp actor, you make it easier for yourself to get cast in future productions because people rave about you. You make it so easy for people to rave about you, and you start getting work through recommendation, which is one of the biggest ways I got many of my paid acting jobs. And it all starts with your craft. It starts with the level that your skills are at. So once you've listened to this episode, please leave a rating, as it helps me learn what you're enjoying so I know what to create more of for you. But here's one thing I want you to know. I want you acting through the role with not a hint of fake acting in sight. And one of the most powerful ways to do this and show yourself to directors and agents as someone they want to work with time and time again, who's then going to rave about you to their networks, is to get your script analysis skills hot. The 10-week method acting module script analysis comes around once every 4 years, and it has been taught again in October 2024 before it disappears until 2028. And I want to coach you through this. I want to coach you on this module so every director who sees your acting wants to snap you up. So auditions for the 10-week method acting module script analysis are Saturday the 5th of October. The training is in an online workshop space. It's highly practical, it's highly inspiring, it's thorough, it's intensive, and you can be from anywhere in the world to train. There's also no travel time, which makes it easy to fit around your day job. So this is good for our time management skills. So you can hit the link in the episode description to apply for a place, or you can go to bit.ly/the standby method. That's spelled capital T, H-E, capital S, T-A-N-D, capital B, Y, capital M, E-T-H-O-D. So it's bit.ly/the standby method, or just hit the link in the description. Well, what is the worst thing you can do before scenes then? I've picked out 3 things that I've seen happen time and time again. The first thing is wonder what the director wants from you. Why do you think this is something you don't want to be doing before a scene? It's because it stops you being present. The second worst thing you can do before a scene is go over and over and over the lines like a crazy cat, because you'll forget them. By going over and over them, you will forget them because internally, on an unconscious level, you're telling yourself you don't know them and that you don't believe that you know them. And then the third worst thing you can do is try and conjure up the emotion before the scene even begins. And I'll tell you why you don't want to do this. It's because it will wear you out. You'll be tired midway through the scene. The emotion itself will wear out and you'll lose it. Or you will go in far too strong at the beginning of the scene and give far too much to the scene far too early on, leaving it hitting a dead end and for there to be nowhere else for you to go with the scene. So what you need to know about scenes before we get on to what you should be doing before scenes begin is that they are about the journey. Scenes are about the journey. More specifically, each character's journey. But for you, you just want to be thinking about your character, the character you're playing. Don't bombard yourself and bog yourself down with the character journeys of everyone else's characters. You just focus on your own character. So the character starts off at point A at the beginning of the scene, and they end up at point B at the end of the scene. And in between point A and point B are all the trials and tribulations that get them to point B. The scene has to build. You cannot start it by going in all guns a-blazing, because that would mean, metaphorically, you're at the peak of Mount Everest right at the very beginning of the scene. So then where else is there for you to go? Nowhere except down. Down is the metaphor for losing energy, losing the character connection, losing the lines if you've had them on repeat before the scene even began, losing the character's purpose in the scene, and basically going through it by going through the motions with no life. Scenes need 5 things in them, and what you do before the scene even begins determines whether you will hit these 5 things, and they are vitality, which obviously means life, clear expression, because we do not want muddled expression, intensity, because there has to be a focus on something for the character, sharpness, which ties in nicely with clear expression. Everything is done with a sharpness. There's no throwing anything away, no throwing lines away, no throwing any actions away. And there has to be nuance, because the scene is a journey, as we've already established. We've already established between point A and point B, there's the trials and the tribulations of the character, which are the nuance of the scene, the ups and the downs. We need these 5 things in scenes because the scene you are about to go into is and categorically the most important thing in the character's life right now. Nothing else matters to them. Yes, even if this is a scene at the hairdresser's, even if this is a scene smoking a cig at a bus stop, even if it is a scene playing rock, paper, scissors on a wall, this is the most important thing to the character right now, because if it wasn't, they would be somewhere else, doing something else, and the scene wouldn't have been written in. So before a scene, it does not serve you to send yourself batshit crazy going over and over and over the lines, because the lines are absolutely nothing to do with what's important to the character. Language and lines are only 7% of communication. So if you are giving 100% of your focus to the lines when they're only 7% of communication, that means you're missing out the other 93% of what's important in a scene. Before a scene begins, it does not serve you to wonder what the director wants from you. Trust that if they're a good director who's as passionate about their job as you are about acting, and they've got integrity, they absolutely will communicate to you the angle they're going for with the scene. But, and this is really important for you to know, wherever you're at with your acting career, they will also trust you to deliver the goods. They trust that you have a bag full of exercises that you can rely on for the challenges that each scene presents. So either get trust in yourself to use the correct exercises, or get learning these exercises and get filling your bag up. But do not focus on the director, because it has absolutely nothing to do with the character and nothing to do with that character's A to B journey. Focus on that journey. The question you want to be asking yourself is, why is this the most important thing to the character right now? Why above anything else? Then you want to focus on the how. How do they go from A to B? Get clear on what the A to B is first, and then ask yourself how they go from that. But what trips many actors up at this point is that they get far too logical about this. So they understand it on a logical level, but then when it comes to actually presenting the scene and living through the scene, they don't. They go through the motions instead, because they've become far too logical and there's no feeling involved. So the exercise that you need to get you out of your head and into this character journey from A to B is rampaging. With rampaging, you verbalize the why this is important to the character until you believe it. And then you start the scene. What this exercise does, because we also add movement into it as well, is it generates genuine connection, it generates energy and genuine emotion. So you don't need to force or fake anything. The moment I got this exercise nailed, myself as an actress, I became a much more focused performer. My work became more focused. It became more layered. It had more intensity in it, more vitality, more truth. And I also saw this happening over and over again with my students. Now, I had to guide them with it because they used to get in a pickle with the why, and I'd have to guide them into really refining what that why was. But once they nailed it, their acting was so exciting to watch. So take Peter, for example. See what you can relate to with this short little excerpt that I'm going to read out from him. He said, "Hey Louise, just wanted to say thank you again. I was a bit anxious on set yesterday and my heart was pounding before I had my scene, but I used all of the tools you've taught me and everyone was super happy with what I did. The director after said that I brought a different level to the scene. Just wanted to say thanks again, as I wouldn't be where I am now without the learning." So what do you relate to in this? Do you relate to the heart pounding before the scene? Because many actors do. That's normal. That's a universal feeling for many actors. The heart pounding is actually the worrying fear of what will go wrong. And that's why I'm telling you not to focus on what the director wants, not to focus on going over and over the lines, and not even to focus on trying to generate the emotion. We replace the heart pounding with rampaging, which allows you to relax into the performance, lose yourself in the role, and enjoy going on that A to B journey which the character is on, and expressing it truthfully with the intensity and the clarity the director needs from you. So how would you feel getting an amazing comment like that from the director, similar to what Peter got? The director pulling you to one side and telling you it was incredible what you did. You've brought a whole new level to the scene. How would you feel hearing that? How would you feel knowing your heart was pounding and you were like, do you know what? Even though my heart's pounding, I'm not going to let this deter me. Even though I'm feeling anxious, I'm not going to let this deter me. I know what I need to use. And then using that exercise with absolute confidence. How would you feel knowing you had the exact tools you need to get you completely into the character? I think you'd feel amazing, because big things start happening with your acting career when you're confident in yourself and this is important, you can deliver the goods. That is how you start to become an unstoppable actor. As I've already said at the beginning, I want you acting through the role with not a hint of fake acting in sight, not a hint of anxiety in sight. One of the most powerful ways to do this is to show yourself to directors and agents as someone who they want to work with time and time again, and you do it by getting your script analysis skills red hot. Rampaging is one of the exercises I will be coaching you through in the 10-week method acting module script analysis. As I've already mentioned, it comes around once every 4 years. It's been taught again in October 2024, and then it disappears until October 2028. And you've got to ask yourself, have you got 4 years to hang around waiting? I want to coach you through this. So every director who sees you wants to snap you up and put you in their productions. They want to pull you to one side and tell you how incredible you are. They want to tell their director friends about you. So your career starts to take off quicker and you start opening the door to your dreams and getting yourself acquainted with more opportunities. Auditions are Saturday the 5th of October. The training is online in a safe, judgment-free, inspiring workshop space. It's highly practical. You can be from anywhere in the world to train, and it's easy to fit around your day job because the classes are every Wednesday for 10 weeks. So go and hit the link in the episode description to read up and apply, or simply go to this link, bit.ly/the standby method. See you soon. I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode, and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors Handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.